You are in a different.
Okay, it's time to start the meeting. So, Mr. Pope, call the roll.
Mr. Ellis.
Here.
Mr. Farley.
Here.
Mr. Broom.
Here.
Dr. Houghton.
Yeah.
Mr. Bazell. Here. Mr. Rich.
Here.
Mayor Goodwin.
Yeah.
You have a forum.
Do we have any citizen comments? Okay, move on to old business ordinance 001-24. Ordinance amending the Folly Beach Code of Ordinances, Chapter 117 by amending the definition of investment short-term rental license to allow inheritance and hardship license, adding a provincial license to comply with the South Carolina Vacation Rental Management Act, establishing an annual minimum number of nights rented to maintain good standing, establishing a 10 business day grace period for renewals of short-term rental license, and clarifying that advertising more bedrooms to be rented than are approved is a violation of rental regulations. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second. This is second reading. So,
I make a motion, we amend section 117.01 by allowing item C to allow either proof of care or proof of inability to perform ADLs as allowable hardships.
have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay. 11701, as written in yellow.
Mayor, do you mind if I just summarize to make sure?
Okay.
So included in that motion would be striking eligible family member, striking item B3, which references item eligible family member. Mr. Rich, do you mind if we also include striking references to more than 72 nights annually in the definition?
I'm just reading what's on the paper.
All right. Okay.
So his motion is,
You wrote it.
his motion is that
All right.
piece of paper,
All right.
all right?
And add the oars.
And adding oars.
Okay.
And just.
Oh.
And
I
strike-
started with the second one and not the first one.
Okay.
That's where the mix-up is. I started with the second one.
Oh, I got you.
And I was gonna go back and do the number 4 as a separate one, just in case there was any,
All right. Okay,
so
so,
then we'll do it all at once.
or.
Well, you start with the, actually with the first one, right?
Well, I started on page 7 of the work session sheets instead of 5. I mean, it's fine, I'll go back and do that one in a second.
All right.
Okay. So, he wants page
This is just for
7
this is to allow the medical hardships.
All right.
to read exactly as the paper, except for the oars, and strike
Striking number 4.
Okay. Is everybody clear?
Clear as mud? Good. Go ahead.
Mr. Bazell?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Broom?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
Passes. The amendment passes.
All right, to finish off page 7 of the work session, I make a motion to amend section 117.01 by striking the number 4 about the STR hardships if you have more than one dwelling and replacing it with only one hardship per owner.
Second.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Bazell?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Broom?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That amendment passes.
You want to go to page 5?
Now we'll go to page 5. I make a motion to amend section 117.01 by striking the definition of eligible family member and striking item B3 in the definition of ISTR to remove references to eligible family member and amending the definition of ISTR, including items A and B to read the rental of a dwelling unit that is not the legal residence of the owner, or the rental of a dwelling unit that is not the legal residence of the owner and was inherited from the person named as owner of record on February 7th, 2023, or,
And delete. Do we have to delete?
and deletes a dwelling unit that is not a legal residence of the owner to be used as a short-term rental.
Just the part that can be rented as a
Page
short-term
5.
rental.
Yeah, that's page, make a motion for page 5.
All right.
That'd been a lot easier to say.
Second.
Okay. Any questions, discussion? Mr. Pope?
Mr. Grooms?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Rozell?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That amendment passes.
So anybody for page 8?
Does anybody else want to jump in here? I make a motion to amend section 117.02C1 to exempt hardship and inheritance ISTRs from the cap, so that it reads, unless the ISTR license is issued due to hardship or after inheritance as defined in section 117.01.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? That would be page 8.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
They're already in there in the first draft. Sorry, Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Rozell?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Grooms?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That amendment passes.
One more page, guys.
Motion to amend section 117.01 by amending the definition of good standing to specify that if either natural disasters / acts of God or permitted work to correct health, life, safety violations render a property uninhabitable for a period of more than 6 months, the minimum rental requirement does not apply.
As listed. You don't want to read it all.
As listed.
Have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mr. Pope?
And Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Rozell?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mr. Grooms?
Yes.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That amendment passes.
All right, and one more. Motion to amend section 117.03, paragraph 4, subsection B, to specify that if either natural disasters / acts of God or permitted work to correct health, life, safety violations render a property uninhabitable for a period of more than 6 months, the minimum rental requirement does not apply, as listed.
Second.
Any questions, discussion? Got it.
Mr. Rich?
Yes.
Mr. Rozell?
Yes.
Mr. Grooms?
Yes.
Dr. Houghton?
Yes.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes.
Mr. Farley?
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin?
Yes.
That amendment passes.
Any other
Bill,
amendments?
you got the last one?
Yeah,
I didn't write it down.
he's got it.
The one about retroactive.
No, we don't have to.
We don't have to.
Oh, okay, cool.
So what was the follow-up on that, just so that we understand?
We just do it by policy since this will pass.
It's smoking.
Any other amendments? Any other amendments? Back to ordinance 001-24 as amended. Have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second? Mr. Pope?
oh.
Any questions or amendments?
I just have a small discussion or concern that now that we've really hashed out what hardships are, and that we had spoken before about still working on that definition, and that we did not have to do it now because it's a live document. So if
You're
that's.
talking about financial hardship?
I'm talking about any other hardship that we didn't define in this
Well,
ordinance.
then you need to come
So-
up with whatever that is,
I have
so.
no, okay, so I have no problem doing that.
Yeah,
So, so I'm just trying to make it clear, because I have promised folks that I would follow up and tease out other hardships that could be considered by us. So this,
All right.
so that's
That
all
has-
I'm trying to state, is that we as a council are willing to continue to work on
You're
that
stating
issue.
that. I don't know.
That's what I'm
I don't hear
asking.
everybody else stating that, but this is not the time to discuss that right now.
Watch,
If you want to make amendments later, you bring it
I'm
up.
willing to discuss it at a later time when it gets more defined and narrowed down. And I think you said earlier you had some concrete ideas and you should bring those forward and we'll take a look at them. But that's gonna be a really tough nut to crack, but I think it's like Mr. Rich said, this is gonna be a living, breathing document, and, you know, we can look at it as we go down the road, but at least for now, the work's done.
So that's the clarity that I just needed to be able to vote on this. If that makes sense, hopefully.
Yeah, it's hard to include it all, you know. Some guy's down on his luck, his heater and his
Well-
truck broke down, he's a one-legged man in a one-man band, and he's off to the rodeo, but they fired him because he,
Okay, so
I'm gonna miss that. That's what I'm gonna miss right there.
every ordinance is a living, breathing ordinance. So if you get a amendment you want to bring back, you bring the definition, you bring what it is, you bring it back to council to discuss it at that time. Any other comments? Mr. Poe, as amended.
Mr. Bazell,
Yes.
Dr. Houghton,
Yes.
Mr. Farley,
Yes.
Mr. Ellis,
yes.
Mr. Broom. Yes. Mr. Rich,
Yes.
Mayor Goodwin,
Yes.
passes as amended.
Okay. Any council comments? Motion to
I-
adjourn? What?
Moved.
Wait a minute. What?
Short hair got a short hair.
Yeah, now I got a new do, yeah. I just really wanted to thank everyone, especially today. I don't know if some of you saw the unfortunate words on the boat driving in this morning. And Folly stepped up and erased the profanity and the mean-spiritedness. So it's great that most people don't even know it existed. But I wanted to acknowledge that that's why we're here on Folly. And it was just an amazing thing to see that the hateful things that were on the boat were erased and we moved on. So that also connects to civility. I do want to also say that we are working on insurance. We, in the sense of some people that live here because of the coastal flood insurance, which has, been really a challenge for folks. And so that are still working on. Plug for the library, do not worry, even though the library might be closed for a little bit. Please come to James Island, that's where I am, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a little plug. So it's 6 minutes up the road, and I don't know, when will the library, is it March 1st?
I don't know when they're gonna do that, but they're talking about
3 days.
just upgrading the library, upgrading Folly Beach's library. So it'll be there, but it's gonna take a little while for them to.
Right,
get it
and
done.
we still can have the community center.
Yeah, it's
So-
all gonna be, all the work's gonna be done inside their cubicle.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring clarity to that. And I know I did a plug for Black History Month, but don't forget March, Women's History. Those are my comments.
All right. Have a motion to adjourn?
So,
Have a second? You're done.
Off budget 543.
So what was on the vote?
Oh,
I seen people painting, so it wasn't bad, but.
damn, I said